for coming, candidacies. The way this will run, first off, please, if you haven't already, silence any cellular devices or anything that might make noise. We don't want that. You can take notes on it or whatever, but we don't want any noise from those. The format of this debate is, with the exception of a couple questions, we'll tell you if they're any different. The regular way to do this is, well, each question is allotted 8 minutes. You get 4 minutes, you get 4 minutes. And there are 3 times for you to talk. We will ask the initial question, and we'll alternate who we ask first, and you will have your initial response. Now, your response can be as many minutes as you like. Then the other, so let's say we ask Garrett first, then you guys would also have a response. Then you would have, or an answer. Then you respond to their answer, and then you can have a rebuttal if you have any time left. Is that clear? But you get 4 minutes total. Time signals, Caleb will tap at every minute, and I will inform you how much time you have left at the end of every section of those things. Is that clear?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, well, I'll tell you. You tap it every minute. Okay, so we're going to begin with our first question. First question will go to the presidency on my right. The question is, what can you offer not only the student body but Paradigm as a whole that your contender cannot?
Okay,
your
great.
time begins as soon as you speak.
Awesome, great question. We don't want to sit down on the other committee, other presidency. They're doing a great job and we're super excited for whatever happens, but something that we can offer the scholar body and the school, that was the question. So something we're going to offer the scholar body is communication. So we want to make sure that everyone can be heard, and we want to make sure that we set up ways to do that, right? So whether that be through Congress or whether that be through better communication from the cabinet to the scholar body and with admin. Some ways that we hope to open those up are just through stuff like a personal suggestion box where we can maybe sit at lunch and we can have a table set up and you can come to us with whatever questions you have, and hopefully we can answer them to our best ability. We just want to make sure that your voice is heard and that you have a say in what the activities are and how the dances are ran and in what's just going on as a whole. And stuff we can do for Paradigm, we want to be able to reach out to the community. And ways we're going to do that are with certain activities. We killed it last year for Penny Wars, and we want to be able to do the same similar stuff as we did in the past in regards to just absolutely rocking it. And so just reach out to the community. That's going to benefit Paradigm, and it's going to benefit the scholar body.
Thank you. You use 1 minute and 30 seconds of your time, so that leaves you with 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Right? 4 minus. Okay, cool. Alright, now it's your turn. The question is the same. What can you offer not only the student body but Paradigm as a whole that your contender cannot?
So something that I already thought was interesting was communication is something that I've already been working hard on. I have the Paradigm podcast, and I have been in the communication part of cabinet, and so I've already been offering that. So to go forward with that, I want to start offering more love and inspiration to the school. And through the podcast and through ways that I've already been working on to communicate with the school, I want to, I don't know how to say it, inspire conversation. I want to inspire people to be better. And if you've listened to the podcast or you've seen things that I've done, you see a lot where it's showing people how we work as Paradigm and who we are. And that's, I think, something is super important as we get new kids coming into Paradigm. Sometimes a lot of people have a lot of confusion and they're really confused at like a 3-hour seminar class. Like, what's up with that? Like, why do we have a 3-hour seminar class? And they can listen to the podcast and be like, that's why we have a 3-hour seminar class, because we have these great conversations, we have these great ideas, and we move forward as the great thinkers of our generation.
Cool, thank you. This presidency, you get a response. You have a total of 2 minutes and 30 seconds for the response and the rebuttal. So,
Awesome.
So I just wanted to add a little bit onto what Garrett was saying. We have so much love and energy for the school. Like, we love where we go to school and learn. And what we can offer is experience. We've been here since 7th grade. And obviously we love it here and we know what's up, right? We know what seminar is, and we just want to let you know that we've been on cabinet before. We've been here for a long time, and we can build upon past presidencies. We've seen a lot of presidencies do things, and we can just move forward with that.
Page 42 seconds. It's almost done with that, yeah. Okay, cool. You have a minute 50 left. This presidency's response.
One of the very critical things of what we have to offer the school, like Daniel said, is we've already been able to communicate, and that's one of our goals, especially one of our biggest goals is to know everybody's name. You gain a personal and a deeper knowledge when somebody knows your name. And it's always been like that. So I always feel more comfortable going up to someone that knows my name. If they know my name, I'm probably not gonna approach them because that's just really awkward, right? And we want to be able to have that, and we want to, you know, inspire the people to be their best selves. And that's something we've all learned here at Paradigm, and we want that to continue. We want to inspire everybody to be who they want to be.
You have a minute and 50 seconds remaining for your rebuttal.
Miranda, you want to take the answer?
Yeah, totally. I definitely feel like our two presidencies running value similar things, which is a huge reason why we feel so confident in whatever happens, because we know that the things that we value are being valued across the board, and that both teams really, really care about the school. Something unique about our presidency is that with these values, either the similar ones or ones that we have a little bit of differences on, that we have an energy that we're bringing to the table, which will get things done. So not only energy that will excite and invite others to participate in all the great that we hope to do this year if we're elected, but also to be able to share that with the community. And that ties into what Garrett was saying with not only helping people here at the school, but also bringing that Paradigm spirit out into the community. We have an energy that will not only get things done efficiently and fast, but will lift people up and help boost people. And we hope that this will, we hope that in all the changes that we hope to bring and all the things that we hope to build upon, that we will be able to bring that energy to the table and move forward with that.
Oh, she ended right on time. That's quite good. All right, the rebuttal from this presidency. How much time do they have?
35 seconds.
They have 35 seconds.
Yeah.
How long?
Not you guys, these guys.
No. This side would have 35 seconds.
This side. Daniel? They have a minute and 4 seconds.
You have a minute and 4 seconds.
Okay. Something that Daniel first mentioned was we want to inspire great conversations between peers, and that's like a huge part of Paradigm, is to have like 3-hour seminars to talk about these books that we read and these great conversations we have. But we also want to inspire that outside of the classroom. We don't want to just have discussions inside of class time and that take place with like all these people. We also want to inspire people to go during their lunch times, during like passing periods, and whenever they have like a spare minute to go up to their peers or people they don't even know and just ask like random questions to spark great ideas that can come from those. And part of that is like they need to know each other's names, and so we don't just want us know everyone's names. We want the help, like the scholars, to be inspired to know what their other scholars' names. And another part of conversations and like having great conversations doesn't mean that they're always gonna be fun and like exciting to have. Sometimes it also means having the hard conversations, but we don't want to shy away from having those because those are also really important.
Thank you. That concludes the time for that question. You don't get to carry any over time that you used before. Our next question. What? The next question is, and this goes to you first. What would you change about what the previous administration has done this year? Your time starts now.
Something that I have thought about changing this year is something I have thought about changing this year is having a definitive schedule, something that everybody can look at right from their own devices. Me and Mr. DeBono, we have found this app called Trello, and it's a very useful app to where everybody can upload their own cards or their own, like a card is just like information about what needs to be done, and you can move that around. It's super organized. And so having this schedule where everybody knows what needs to be done, and then everybody can organize their own thing and make it work the way that they need it to work, and then communicating that with everybody else is something that I highly value and I really want to implement in a cabinet situation, but also in classes and with my own work and stuff like that.
All right, use 15 seconds. Now, Garrett's presidency, your answer to the question, and then I do the question. What would you change about what the previous administration has done this year?
Okay, super awesome question, and no disrespect to the previous presidency. They did an amazing job. You guys ran the school in a very efficient way. Some of the things that we are looking to not necessarily change, but just lift up that's already there. We just want to bring to hindsight what we already have, because Paradigm's so amazing. Not trying to steal your lift thing, but we want to have a lot more communication. We want to be able to have our cabinet run super efficiently. Some of the things that weren't necessarily happening to the fullest last year was communication from the cabinet to the scholar body. So a lot of the times a dance would come up and it would be like there's 3 days before someone even realized the dance was there, and then it was hard for them to find a date or just whatever. So certain things that we're going to do to change that are making sure that everyone in our cabinet understands how to do a financial request form, and everyone in our cabinet understands how to run tech. And these things may not seem like that big of a deal to someone who doesn't super know what they are, but if everyone in our cabinet knows how to do those, we're going to be able to run so much more efficiently, and everything's going to be able to be way better and put out there way sooner. Another thing is, oh dang, I just lost my train of thought. You wanna take one?
Another thing is planning ahead, really getting on top of those financial requests, and when everybody knows everybody else's jobs, it goes so much more smoothly. Like, you have no idea, it's dances, when everybody knows how to do tool and lights and everything, you can assign jobs so fast, and everything will get done quickly. And that's what I've noticed with past presidencies, is like somebody only knows how to do editing videos, or because that's their committee, and we want to make committees a little bit more fluid, where they know each other's jobs, so when big things like assemblies come up, then they know where to put the speakers, they know how to do different things, who's speaking, like what's going on, and we can make events way better. That's all.
Use 2 minutes and 25 seconds with that, so you have 1 minute and 35 seconds left. Alright, for the response to that answer, Daniel's presidency.
I'm so sorry, would you clarify the question?
You want me to say it again?
Yeah, but also,
Okay.
is it administration or like presidency/cabinet?
What would you change about what the previous administration has done last year? Well, you're not admin, so I think they're talking about what the presidency can do.
Cool, just had to check because the wording.
Yeah, I get that.
We really desire to make cabinet more efficient. Being on cabinet this year has it's really opened my eyes to see how different people work together, and how the committees run and are supposed to be run, etc. And I noticed there are highs and lows of each committee, and sometimes a committee can get really a lot done, and then sometimes they get nothing done, which is fine. We're all human. There's no pressure to be perfect. That's ridiculous. But we really want to make sure everybody in cabinet's valued, and that the scholar body knows they're valued, especially. That's more important than anything else. Because in this day and age, everybody, it's harder to feel valued than ever before. And we really want to make that such a priority to us and to the school, so everybody knows that. And being able to help the scholar body understand that, and also to inform them of things, that they can feel loved and they can feel welcomed in the school.
You used a minute and 16 seconds. How much time do we have left?
I lost their last time.
What was their last time?
55 seconds.
It was a minute 55 seconds last time.
Just 55 seconds.
Just 55 seconds. I lied. Cool.
Okay.
And then Garrett's presidency's response to.
How much time do we have again? Sorry.
How much time do they have?
We have a minute.
Oh, a minute and
You have a
35
minute and
seconds.
35 seconds for the next 2
Sweet,
sessions.
okay. We've talked a lot about cabinet and the changes we would want to make there, in efficiency and in how we run things. I think the biggest change, though, that we would make in comparison to previous presidencies who themselves did great, I think that we would involve the scholar body a lot more in the decision making that we plan on doing. A lot of the themes or ideas for activities came from us, came from cabinet, came from presidency last year, and I believe, and I think that we as a team believe, that there are really practical openings in which we can get out the scholar body's opinion and views on those activities, right? We're not going to be planning just activities for the whole school. The school will be planning activities for the school. We have outlets to do that through modifications to Congress that we want to do, as well as us going out of our way to make sure that we have like a lot of opportunities to get scholar feedback and take polls out and take questions at lunch. We really want to make sure that everything is getting done to your liking, that you guys are in charge, you guys are running it. We are your true servant leaders. We want to be able to serve you through our time, and we want to be able to create those outlets and opportunities where you're planning what you want to do for the school. I think that's one of the biggest changes that we want to make.
All right, you have 12 seconds remaining for your rebuttal. Your rebuttal now, how much time do they have left? Because that was a minute 16 and 55.
Minus, okay, 5:40, I'm so sorry.
How long?
You have a little less than 2 minutes left.
Okay, cool. So we were talking a lot about like how we're gonna change cabinet, and honestly, I wasn't in cabinet this year, so I don't know necessarily what happens like within the cabinet like relationships. But I do know that I didn't know who was in cabinet until like a couple months ago, because they just weren't around the school a lot. And I don't want to say it was like a clique, because I don't think that's it. It's just they didn't want to make themselves as known. So I would think for our cabinet, I would hope that we were a lot friendlier, and like we'd actually go out and make sure everyone knows who they are, because they are supposed to be like running for this, like helping the school, not just kind of like what they said over there. Like we don't want the cabinet planning events, we want the school planning events, but the school's not going to want to talk to like people if they don't know who the people are, or if they're not close with the people. So a lot like our presidency, we want to be close to the scholars and not just close with each other. So I would encourage our cabinet to go out and actually make sure that they're making themselves known in the school.
Thank you, that's all of your time. The final rebuttal for Garrett's presidency, you have 12 seconds.
Okay. Something we would also like to incorporate into our cabinet is a big calendar put somewhere in the cabinet room, so everyone is always informed in the cabinet of what's going on, and that way they can communicate to the scholar body much easier.
Finish your thought.
Much easier because they'll know what's going on. So then there's that communication that we're looking for through the cabinet to the scholar body.
Thank you, that concludes the time for that question. We are now on to a special round. So, now what you need to do is when I say your name, you're going to stand up and immediately do your favorite Fortnite dance until I say the next person's name.
Oh my gosh, yes!
Miranda, this includes you, even though you're on Zoom. Alrighty.
Look at this.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody be
I
quiet,
really-
be quiet, be quiet. Okay, alright. Let us begin with Allison.
The only one? What? I literally don't know.
Sit down. Esther.
Oh, I don't want to. I know one, and I can't even
Do it. This is
do it.
speed round.
It's like
Oh!
Yes.
Daniel.
I'm going.
Don't do it.
What was it?
Do it, do it.
Don't
It's like
steal
the,
mine.
or the shuffle one.
Miranda.
Fortnite
Phoenix.
dance.
I don't know any
Just do
Fortnite
this to
names. I
shoot
spend
me.
too much time trying to, better our presidency, our campaign.
Oh, got him. That's so
That was
cute.
good. That was good. Well, you're gonna put everyone to sleep if you keep talking. Garrett!
Can I ask for assistance from the audience?
Yes, you can.
Caleb, stand up, baby.
Oh gosh.
We're not the audience.
With our backs.
We're not done yet.
Oh! That's the word, yeah. Alright, that's quite enough. That's quite enough. Cool, okay.
Hey, hold on, you missed one.
You missed one.
Jaidee!
Ask question.
This is my favorite one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Good stuff.
I can't believe everyone's gonna watch us do
Tiana,
that now.
can you pan to Bono's disappointed face?
Alright. Go us. Cool. Alright, this next question is a little bit different. You will each have 1 minute individually to answer at max. We're just gonna go ping-ponging back and forth between president, vice, whatnot. And since we asked Daniel's presidency first last time, I'll answer you first this time. So, name one strength and one weakness that you have. Garrett, you go first.
Okay. As a presidency of us running,
Well, you can know more about you.
me
Garrett
Me
Schugk
personally?
weaknesses.
Yes, Garrett Schugk.
Okay, a strength and weakness. Okay. Without sounding too arrogant, I think a strength would be that I'm really invested into a bunch of different aspects of the school, right? So I'm invested with the athletic kids. I have a lot of siblings. We have younger siblings in the prep school, so we know a lot of their friends, a lot of their what's happening in their lives. And I have a freshman brother who he knows a bunch of people, so I know all of him, right? And all of his friends. I'm also invested in band, so I know about what's going on in band and orchestra, and we're invested there. So I don't want to sound cocky, but I'm invested in a bunch of different parts of the school, so I'm really going to be able to bring what you guys want and what's going on to the presidency, right? And a struggle I think I have is
Don't count that.
humility. Okay, a struggle I think I have would definitely be
Finish your thought.
would definitely be how do I have struggles. I'm just trying to figure out how to put it. No, shut up. Trying to make everyone heard when sometimes that can be impossible. So I want to make sure I can literally know every person, but
Your
that's
time
kind of a
has
big
expired.
thing, so it's
Thank
possible.
you. Daniel.
So yeah, I would say my biggest strength is I love diving into projects. Like something brand new, I just jump right into it and I love it. It's so exhilarating and it's so fun to do. Whereas one of my weaknesses is I sometimes start to lose a lot of motivation after the initial adrenaline after that project has started, where I'm jumping really hard into it and then all of a sudden it's like, I don't want to do this anymore. But so that's something I definitely need to work on. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
Cool, thank you. Allison, your time.
I guess a strength would be I work my butt off.
Yes, you do.
And then a weakness would be I have a hard time listening to other people because when I get like an idea in my head, I'm just like, but my idea. But then I'm just like, I'm working on it. Looking at other people and like, even though maybe we won't go with it, I can still consider it, or maybe we will go with it, and my idea can take a backseat. But yeah, working on it.
Cool, thank you. Jaidee, also, because this question is formatted differently, he'll tap at 30 seconds.
Okay, wonderful. I'm gonna be straight up honest with everybody here and with the scholar body. I have depression and anxiety, and that's my biggest weakness. I deal with it every day, but my biggest strength is that I don't let it get me down. I keep going, and of course there are hard days, but I keep going and I keep pushing for what I love. And every day, even if I have the worst day ever, or what I think is the worst day ever, I always get back up the next day and say, hey, it's okay, for numerous reasons. And that's one of my biggest strengths as well. It's both my biggest weakness and my biggest strength.
Solid, thank you, Jaidee. Miranda, you have a minute. He'll tap at 30.
I think for strengths, I think that my biggest strength here is to be able to see what needs to be improved upon and to see what is good. I think I'm a very observant person. I think I can spot out details, what needs to be changed and what needs to be listened to, what needs to be taken care of. And I can take care of those things fast and efficiently most of the time. I think my biggest weakness is that I'm kind of a stress case. Once I get those things in my mind, I think that I tend to focus in on them. I feel really grateful and completed by the other members of the presidency, so I think that they definitely balance out my stressiness.
Thank you.
You were about to move
Esther.
on without me.
That concludes that question.
Esther doesn't.
Okay, I'd say probably my biggest strength is I love people. I love talking with people. I love joking with them. I love making fun of them, which probably isn't the best thing, but I love just being around, like, especially teenagers. Like, we just give off, like, the coolest energy, but also, like, it's weird and, like, I don't understand it, but, like, it's so much fun to be around people, and I love that, so that's probably my biggest strength. My biggest weakness would probably be I bite off more than I can chew. I want to do so many different things. I want to be in everything. Like, I join the sports things, I join the theater things, I want to come to all the socials and all that, and then I have, like, way too much on my plate, so I can't attend everything. But then I get upset about it because I want to be at everything. If I could clone myself, that would be my biggest strength, but I can't, so there you go.
Thank you, Esther. That's lovely. We're going to move on to. I'm sorry, that wasn't meant as a diss.
He doesn't want to clone me.
Sorry. Cool. The next question. We're gonna do this one.
Are we doing 4 minutes?
No. What? This one? Cool. And I'll keep time. You just take notes. You keep track of that. I'll keep time for you from now on. We figured out a better way to do this. Okay, the next question, this goes to you first, is why do you wish to be in the presidency? Your time starts when
Okay,
you
wait. This is back to the same timing as the last questions?
What?
Or do we get the
Yes,
one?
this is 4 minutes and it's divided
Okay.
into 3 parts.
Sorry, Nick, can you repeat the question?
Why do you wish to be in the presidency?
Is this like a personal, like, for
They're
me
going
or for
first,
us?
we'll be next.
Yield all the way
All
to
the
one.
above.
Never mind, if you
Okay,
want to
just
start
roll.
this one when it comes
Interpret it
back.
as you will. These were submitted by
When it
scholars.
comes back to us, you
Got it.
start it.
But actually answer the question.
Okay.
You don't have to, I can.
Alright,
I
everybody
will-
be quiet. This is Daniel's presidency's turn. Why do you wish to be in the presidency?
I wish to be a part of the presidency. I've always dreamed of it since like 7th or 8th grade. No, it was my freshman year because I saw Justice and he inspired me in such a way that that's kind of weird to say about your brother. But he inspired me in such a way that made me want to be in that position and to inspire people the same way he inspired me. And that's where part of our like slogan came up, to lift, is I want to lift them up and have them want to be in the same position I am, because that's just so inspirational and that's just so cool to see groups of people working towards something like that.
Lovely, you have 3 minutes and 20 seconds left.
Okay.
Your answer?
Miranda's gonna start this.
I think one of the biggest reasons that we've talked about wanting to run, and also for me personally, the biggest reason why I feel that I want to be a part of a presidency, I think sometimes we get in our heads like, oh, we have this opportunity to help people. We want to make sure that we give everything to them and that they can be, brought up by us and that we have this opportunity to help them. I think that that goes into part of it, but mostly for me, I see so many great ideas every day, and I see so many people who are stronger than me and are stronger than anyone thinks, and people who can make a really big difference in the school if they have the right opportunities. I think that that's a huge thing that we want to do in our presidency, and a wish that we have to be in there to be able to create some of those opportunities so that people really who have the best ideas, better than our ideas, can be heard and get those out there.
You have 3 minutes and 12 seconds remaining after this. Your response to their answer, or your response to the original question, you have 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
Okay, well, this is my 5th year at Paradigm, and it's because I've been here since 7th grade, and every year the environment at the school has been very different based on which presidencies were put in power. That sounds kind of weird, but I guess that's right. And some years it was really good, and I really felt like the presidency was listening to the scholars and really like interacting with them and like being friends with them, not just being like on a pedestal above them, And then there were years where they weren't as good, and I didn't even know who the presidency was, and things didn't go as smoothly and people kind of just lost interest and were like, well, I'm just gonna do this schoolwork to get by, like there's no point in being at school, there's no lasting friendships there. But the last couple years there have been like really strong presidencies that have really inspired the school to step up their game a little bit, especially this year and like the end of last year with COVID and everything going on. Like that could have really torn down the school and the pride that comes with being a Paradigm Patriot, right? But like we didn't, we stepped it up and we did like so many great things, and it was partly because of how strong the presidency was and how influential they were throughout the school. So I'd really like to be a part of that, just because I've been like through the journey of all these different presidencies. If I could be someone who's able to inspire even just like a small portion of the school, I think it'd be a great opportunity. So.
Thank you. You have 1 minute and 57 seconds remaining. Garrett Presidency, your response.
Okay. So I think a common misunderstanding or misbelief, for those of you who know, is that all of my siblings older than me ran and were a part of the presidency, right? So that can put a little bit of pressure onto me and my choices regarding if I want to run or not. And at first I definitely did. I was really influenced basically just by like, oh, I'm a Schugk, so I should run. But then I really had to step back and really, really take into detail if I wanted to run to better the school and to try and bring to foresight what's already here because the Paradigm is so amazing, or if I wanted to run just because of the pressure. And I obviously made my choice, and it's not just because of the pressure. I want to run because I really, really care about the school. And I've been here since 7th grade. I've loved it since 7th grade, and I'm going to continue to love it. And it's a super exciting opportunity. And so that's why I want to run.
2 minutes and 15 seconds left.
Cool, and then your final comment. Daniel's presidency, you have 1 minute and 57 seconds.
For me personally, the personal growth I get from being in student council as I was at my old school, or cabinet, or in the presidency now, that personal growth is so valuable to me because I've focused on personal growth since freshman year, and I read The Alchemist. It's like I am a personal legend, right? But as a presidency, we want literally what our vision is: lift. We want to be servant leaders. We want to show the school that we're there to serve them, and we're not here to boost our egos or to seem better than them or be on a high pedestal. That's not our goal. Then I as Inspire, we want to inspire people, especially after such a rough year with COVID and all the stuff, the riots, the earthquakes, all the stuff. We want to be able to give people that hope and that inspiration. Friendship, that's so valuable to us, because it doesn't mean you have to be like the closest friends in the whole entire world, but it does mean you can be close. And lastly, thrive. We want to thrive, not only as a presidency, a cabinet, but as a school. Along with the staff, the mentors, the administration, etc. We want everybody to feel valued, included, and even when they're really hard and rough days, that they can get back up and that they can be thriving even when they're struggling.
Thank you. You have, okay, cool. You have 2 minutes and 15 seconds left for your final comment.
Okay, so my first exposure was like, my sisters used to come to Paradigm, right? And they used to bring home things that they discussed or, different things they learned in class, and it has influenced our family dynamic so much. And then when I got into Paradigm and everything, my sister was secretary, and that was my first exposure to presidency. Obviously I was affected by different ones, but whether I knew it or not. And I really looked up to them. I was like, those are the cool kids. And I wanted to be part of that. But as I grew up, I learned about something bigger. And it's in our declaration. It's creating a better world. And if I can be part of something bigger than myself, then I've done a good job. Like, I'm a good person, at least to me. And I love this school so much. And I think that Garrett, Miranda, and I, we've been here for a long time, and we've grown together. And we really want to put that forth and pay it forward into the school, into the community. And beyond.
Do we still have time?
Yeah, you still have time.
Okay, can I take it?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So we want to run as a unit. We don't want it to be like I'm at the top and then these are my 2 assistants. We want to run together. We want to all be looked at in a president's eye, right? And so we all want to be able to cause change and build upon what's already here together. And we are planning on doing that if we are chosen. So.
I think also we already have a lot of ideas circulating about how we want to bring that to the community, and Allison touched on this a little bit, bringing it to the community and beyond that. I think that that's something that we want to do if we're putting this presidency, to be able to not only take what we have here, which is amazing, and build upon that, but also to bring that into the community, and we have ideas for how to do that.
So, thank you. All right, we'll move on to the next question now.
It's another dance, I swear.
I'm not excited. Let's do it.
You wish.
Reenact Beauty and the Beast.
Oh my
Fight
gosh,
Club.
I just
Titanic
watched it.
scene.
I can do
Let's go.
that.
All right, be quiet. This question is from another member of our scholar body. It says, our school has been split into 2 groups, virtual and in-person, this entire year. If you are elected, how will you restore unity next year? And give some examples. And I asked you first last time, so
Yeah,
it's your turn. Cool.
All right, so yes, we have definitely noticed the disconnection. I think a lot of us don't even know certain scholars that come to our school who are online. And ways that we can better that is just having better communication from Zoom to the people in person, right? And that doesn't mean through activities necessarily, but finding other ways to communicate that and to come to an understanding of what their needs are. So if I could use an example, I was in JSP, I still am, and we have an amazing class president who does exactly what he's supposed to and exactly what he needs to. And he is really good at talking to the people on Zoom, right? So he makes time in every class, at the beginning of class or at the end whenever he gets the announcements. And he goes and he stands by where the Zoom camera is and he just talks to them. And then that one person going up and talking to them, encourages other people to go up and talk to them. So soon you have this crowd around the Zoom people, and they just, you can tell that they feel the love and they can feel it through a computer. And so that's what we want to be able to make sure we can do, is to show love even through a computer. And there's so many ways to do that, and we're super excited to be able to do that.
We have 2 minutes and 49 seconds left.
Well, same question you wish, I'll repeat it. Our school has been split into 2 groups, virtual and in-person, this entire year. If you are elected, how will you restore unity next year? And give some examples. Your time starts when you do.
So, whether or not, Zoom exists in the school next year, whether it's not, whether or not it's still prevalent, it's possible that those people on Zoom can come back and still be so disconnected from the school because they've been online for a whole year and, they don't have the same friendships or whatever as the people that are in school, right? And one of the things that I'm going to try to do, for like the rest of this year, whether I'm elected or not, is just talk to them, because I know them, especially in like my seminar class. I know who they are. I've seen them around the school like last year and whatever. And there's such a disconnect because it's hard. It's hard to connect on Zoom, and that's just facts. And there are people within the school that I like on Zoom that I don't even know what they look like. And that's so sad. Like, I can name quite a few people that I know their name, but I don't know what they look like because they're on Zoom. And we want to create that unity. We want to talk to them because I know like people that are on Zoom, and we all know people that are on Zoom, right? That when they get back, or we can text them and we can see, hey, how are you doing? And even if they do end up coming back to school next year, we can go up to them and say, hey, how are you doing? Oh, really? You have a funny story? Like, talk to me about it. And all these amazing things that we can make them feel more included about.
Thank you. You have 2 minutes and 33 seconds remaining for your other things. All right, in response to their answer, your time begins now.
So, I have hope that next year will be better. Like, COVID will get better, and people will be coming back, and there is that disconnect. Like, they don't know anybody, and like Garrett said, we need to show them the love, like extra because it's through a computer. But how do I say this? When people start coming back, they don't know what's going on some of the time, unless they're like full extra reading every email, right? But we have to be able to communicate with them of, you know, hey, there's a dance going on, there's this, and even if they still are on Zoom, there's ways that we can include them, like going up to the camera, or doing something else with them. Like, there's still ways to include them.
Can I take a sec? Yeah, so ways that we can get the word out to the people on Zoom, not only through social media posts, because not everyone has Instagram or Facebook, but we can do it in the class. So we want to make a space in your seminar classes and in other classes where you can talk to the people on Zoom, to let them know what's going on, because like I just said, not everyone has Instagram, and not everyone checks their emails. So when you're on Zoom and you're right there, why not take advantage of the opportunity to get the message through and get the word across to those people, rather than have to hope that they read their emails or hope that they download Instagram, right? So there's ways that we can get around this miscommunication block, and they're pretty simple ways as long as we just put our best foot forward.
You have a minute and 10 seconds left.
Your response to their answer, your time begins now.
Well, I'm a strong believer in a spark can start a whole fire, right? So if one person, let me go back. F in friendship. F is friendship in our whole lift thing, right? So if we have friends, and if we have friends throughout the school, and they're being friends with each other, they're friends with us, they're going to be communicating because they're already friends, right? And if we're inspiring those friendships, and we're not forcing them, but we're just wanting to create a community where people are talking about things and being excited about things that we're doing, and like just talking about things. And so when something happens, everybody's going to know about it through, we'll have the normal stuff that we already do. We make the announcement videos, we put the emails out there, we have the Instagram. One insider type thing is we're going to start adding announcements to the podcast, and that's just like, we have these implements, but as we start inspiring more connection through the school, they're going to start communicating with themselves.
Although you have a minute, 30 seconds left. Your rebuttal, Garrett's presidency, you have a minute 10.
I think another way that we can do this is by taking the big goals that we have for the entire scholar body and making those applicable to different subsects of the scholar body as well. That being the Zoom kids, right? Being able to, if we're prioritizing communication with the big scholar body, right, and the people in person, including those people in that, including the Zoom kids in that, and being able to bring that communication to them as well. Also, by valuing their individual input, if we are already going around and making sure that every scholar has the opportunity to get their ideas out, when some kid at home, I mean, you're sitting there, right, and you're on Zoom, and you think, I wish that they would do this, right? I wish someone did this specific thing that I already know needs to be done so that I could feel better or feel this way, right? And that's something that we hope to be able to tackle by asking people, right? By providing clear opportunities for people to get what they want done, right? So that the individual problems that they're experiencing that we don't even know they're experiencing, we hope to be able to provide opportunities for them to get help with those through us, being servant leaders and being vessels for them to be able to get what they want done.
Cool. Daniel's presidency, your rebuttal, you have a minute, 30 seconds.
Do we have to take a rebuttal?
Hey,
You
hey,
don't
look at
have
me.
Okay, good, right. She told me she didn't want it, and now she changed her mind.
I changed my mind. Okay, how much time did you say?
A minute and
Oh,
30.
well,
I probably
now
gotta use
you
it
have
all, like,
less, but that's okay. A minute, like
30
30
seconds.
seconds.
Okay, well, I have a quick thing anyway, it doesn't really matter. I just, like, Zoomers are people too, and that sounds like really cheesy, but the fact is, like, a lot of us do forget about the people on Zoom because they're not, like, sitting right next to us, but they are important. They do have their own opinions that should be heard, and so I would just say, like, as one of our goals is to know everyone individually, or to know as many people as we can individually, that also does include the Zoom kids, and if there is Zoom next year, we will be really trying hard to make sure we get to know them and are asking them their input. And if there isn't Zoom next year, but they still have a hard time connecting, we will have, we'll have it in our, I lost my train of thought, but I got it, I promise. We are gonna want to go out and get to know them and make sure that they feel connected as well. There you go.
Thank you very much. All right. Oh my bad. Cool. The next question is a lightning round. We have
Communism.
no.
No, dictatorship.
That
Come
doesn't
on,
really
take a
make
step
any
back.
sense, but okay. Okay, be quiet. You only have 1 minute to do this. Your question is, who is your favorite Muppet? You cannot make excuses.
Oh my gosh.
You cannot take a long time when I say your name to choose.
Like
Or
Muppet, like the
when-
Muppet Show.
Actually,
Yes.
when Caleb says your name to choose, you need to say immediately your favorite Muppet. All right, ready, set, go. Caleb, start.
Jaidee.
Kermit.
Allison.
Kermit.
Daniel.
Animal.
Dude, just-
Esther.
Animal.
Garrett.
Miss Piggy.
Miranda.
The little chicken.
Yes, the little chicken.
The cook is pretty cool.
I don't think it has a name.
No,
The
it's
two
just a little
guys on the
chicken.
boat.
Lovely. All right, so now we'll go to our next question. This is not a lightning round, unfortunately. The question will go to Daniel's presidency first, and the question is, what makes you think you are best suited to represent Paradigm?
Do you want me to start? How do I think we're the best? Well, let me tell you. We have been planning what we wanted and like what our vision is for the school since last November, right? And so we've had a lot of time to think, a lot of time to like step out of it and say I don't want to do this anymore because we didn't have to sign anything at the time, right? But I think because we started so early, in the last however months that is, we become really close as a presidency, and so we know what our goals are individually and what our goals as a whole are. So we're already really good at like the communicating thing and the engaging, I guess, like, you know, making sure we know what we want and we know that like everyone's doing good, they're not having mental breakdowns, and when they do, we're there for them, you know. So we're already practicing what we want to do in the school with each other, and even like with our other friends that we're close to that we've already made those friendships with, we're already practicing what our vision is, like the whole lift thing, you know. And so I guess we're the best because we've been planning longer. I don't know.
Is that all?
That is all, yes.
All right, you have a minute, or 2 minutes and 52 seconds remaining. Could you? I'm gonna grab an eraser because it hurts my knuckles. The question was, what makes you think you're best suited to represent Paradigm? Your answer begins when you do.
I think we have a lot to offer, and Miranda was talking about our vibe and our atmosphere that we bring to the table, and we are a really fun group, and we are really invested in the school, all three of us, in a bunch of different ways, and we really want to bring that to vision. We really want to show how fun we can be and how much we can bring up what's already here. So we want to build on what Paradigm already has to offer because we believe it's such an amazing school. We don't necessarily want to change certain things. So we want to take ways of doing things from the past, we want to apply our knowledge and then put it forward to the future. So we don't want to just go where from we are and think that we know what's up and change it to something different. We want to take from all of our sources that we can, and we want to be able to apply those in the way that we run as a presidency. And again, I'm going to emphasize on the point that we are running as a unit, we're running together. You know, it's all three of us and the whole scholar body. You know, with our slogan being game, with all three of us and again the scholar body. So.
Cool, thank
2 minutes.
Cool. Your response. Your response to their answer. Daniel's. Actually, edit this part out, Daniel. All right, Daniel's presidency. It's your turn. You have 2 minutes and 53 seconds. Let me remind you. The question is, what makes you think you're best suited to represent Paradigm? And you're responding to. This is your response to their answer and whatever you want to say. Your time begins when you begin.
One of the many things. Okay, sorry, my brain. We want to represent Paradigm not in a way for ourselves, but for the scholar body. I mean, we're here for the scholar body. That's our job. You know, the scholar body is us. We represent them. That's our job, and you know, that's our goal. We want not only like, you know, we always talk about having the scholar body be heard, which is so vital, but making sure that we're listening to them and communicating that to cabinet and to Congress, especially Congress. We want to represent each seminar class and each person as well as we can, and it's hard to know, a school, full of people, but we gotta represent them. And why would we not? Because that's our job, and that's what we signed up for.
Thank you, Jaidee, for that response. You have a minute, 50 seconds left. That's you. How much time do they have left?
2 minutes, 15 seconds.
All right, your response to their answer and whatnot, and anything else you want to say?
We believe that we are best suited to represent the scholar body because we provide the best opportunity, or we believe that we're prioritizing providing those opportunities for them to represent themselves. Who better to represent the scholar body than themselves? Who knows the scholar body better than they know themselves, right? And who's more qualified to serve them than they are? I think that the reason we would be best suited as a presidency is because we would provide the most opportunities and prioritize providing those opportunities the most to be able to get those individual scholars heard and provide the best opportunities for them to represent themselves and to get their voices out there so that they're truly bringing everything that they have to the table.
Thank you. The final rebuttal for Daniel's presidency. You have a minute and 50 seconds.
Can you restate the question?
The question was, what makes you think you're best suited to represent Paradigm?
We are Paradigm Patriots. And what does that even mean? You read the Declaration, it says we're servant leaders. We have the capacity to learn and grow. We have these great conversations of ideas. We live in gratitude. The whole Paradigm Declaration is who we are. And in order to represent that, we need to be the best representation of that declaration. And that is what we constantly strive to be and who we constantly strive to be. And every single day, we will be able to work on something new. And we all have our weaknesses, but at one point when we fail, we know where we need to work. And then we can move forward there, and we can become the Paradigm Patriots that we want to be.
Thank you, Daniel.
Dang it, Daniel. Took my line.
All right.
I'm a Paradigm Patriot. So, yeah, I really wanted to talk about that too, the Declaration, and also like participating in classes. I can tell you right now that all three of us are in each class, participating in discussions, reading our books, and striving for our own education, right? What Paradigm's all about, learning to think, and what better way to represent than to be a scholar and be the best version of a scholar that you can be.
Yeah, what Allison said, leading by example is key. We think we would be the best suit to run the scholar body because we know the power of leading by example, and we know how we can do that, not only in our classes, but even outside of school. Just because if we get put into the presidency and we are looked at as the presidency of the school, it's not only when we're at school. It's not like when we leave the building, that's it. We're not the presidency anymore. We still are, and we still want to be able to bring that same energy and atmosphere into the rest of our lives and pushing forward to stuff outside school, like the activities and anything that may come.
Thank you very much. We have one final question. Unfortunately, it can't be one that actually takes the amount of time that the normal real ones did because we started late. So the final question is, and it has the same rules as the other ones. We're just going to say a name and you have to.
All right.
And Reese will say the name.
The final question is to go with the pineapple pizza debate of every year.
Oh gosh.
If pineapple pizza was a person, would you ask them out on a date?
Esther.
No.
Miranda.
Absolutely not.
Jaidee.
Sure, I don't know, that got to get to know 'em.
Daniel.
I think that'd bring a little spice to my life.
Garrett?
In the least cheesy way possible, yeah, because I don't
Get
know
it.
them that well.
Cheesy.
That was so sad.
In the least cheesy way possible, I don't know them, so yeah, I would go on a date with them and see where they are, where they stand, and if I like them. If I don't,
Whatever.
no second date.
Garrett, it's a pizza.
No thanks.
Look, all you said was no.
She said absolutely not.
Alright,
too.
thank
My
you,
bad.
thank you. You have time for a final statement. It's 1 minute and 30 seconds. I just was changing hours instead of seconds. That's not right.
Final statement per person or
No, a
total?
final statement for each president. We will tap on the 30 seconds.
Minute and 30.
Then we'll
So-
double tap when you're down to 15 seconds. And if the timer goes off, wrap up your thought very quickly because you only have like a 5-second grace period. All right. And who did we ask the last question
I think
to
that was
first?
us.
Yeah, so it's to Garrett.
All right,
Okay.
Garrett, you will deliver your final statement first.
Awesome. All right, we're super excited. I mean, there's not really much we can say except for that we are excited and we are ready and prepared. We've taken the steps necessary to know what we need to do as a presidency, and we're super excited to be able to get to know the scholar body more. And we've talked about ways that we're going to do that. We want you as a scholar body to know that we're always open to change. We're always open to our mindsets being altered by yours, right? And so never think that just because we are the presidency that someone like a 7th grader can't come up to us with an idea and we'll just not listen to it because they're a 7th grader, right? We're going to listen to everyone. That's something that we can guarantee, and we're just excited. We're ready. We're super pumped.
Thank you, Garrett. All right, Daniel, you have 1 minute and 30 seconds for your final statement.
In the end, our biggest mission is to show that we see people as people. That's a whole Camp Mariah, anatomy of peace type of thing. And I want the best for Paradigm High School. And if that's not me, and if that's Garrett's team, I'm totally down for that. Like, let's go Paradigm, let's go. And I believe that as we see people as people, and as we show love around the school, and we lift each other up to be somebody better, we're all working towards a common goal. These groups of people who feel out of place here start to come together because they are people. They are someone who someone cares about, and they'll be brought back together. And that's something I strongly believe in. And so, yeah.
Thank you very much. That concludes the debate. Don't end the video yet. We'd like to give a big thank you to Mr. Bono for helping to set up. Also, several members of these presidencies, mostly Daniel, who also assisted to set up, and Tayana, who was behind the camera, who you haven't seen, but that's who's holding it. So thank you, Tayana.
For an hour.
Yeah, for a whole hour she's been standing there. She's a trooper. She's the real winner of this. Alright, in other news, these people will be provided, each presidency will be provided with an identical list of additional questions that were asked by the scholar body that they can respond to in writing, and that can be attached to an email that will be sent out. That email will be sent out soon, so you guys don't have very much time.
Nice.
I think that's it. So thank you for coming. Please tell anybody who hasn't watched this to watch it, and have a good day, Paradigm.
Amen.